So, there's this old law that's been gathering dust for years, right? It's been used to boot Trump off the presidential ballot, and now it's causing a massive political fuss. Maine's head honcho for elections has just given Trump the boot from the state ballot in next year's U.S. presidential primary election. This comes hot on the heels of a similar decision in Colorado. Now, let's talk about this law. It's Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Up until recently, it was only really interesting to history nerds and legal eagles. It's an old piece of the Constitution, written 155 years ago to keep former Confederates out of government office. It's been sleeping for decades. But the 14th Amendment has been woken up in a big way, thanks to the January 6th storming of the Capitol and the big question about what role Trump, who was on his way out as president, played in the 2021 violence. Two sentences of the 14th Amendment are now at the heart of a bunch of legal fights for Team Trump, and there are more coming. These sentences say that anyone who's sworn an oath to the US government and then gets involved in an insurrection can't hold office afterward. And that's exactly what Shenna Bellows, the Secretary of State for Maine, says Trump did. She issued a whopping 36-page ruling, ending with the decision to kick him off the Republican primary ballot in the state. She wrote that the former president used a false narrative of election fraud to fire up his supporters. Colorado made a similar decision last week. But over in California, they're saying Trump's name will stay on the ballot, and the same goes for Minnesota and Michigan. Other states are getting ready to make their own calls on his eligibility. With 50 states all able to go their own way, this is all heading for the Supreme Court, the top court in the land, and its 9 judges, many of whom were appointed by Trump, to decide on. A final ruling would apply all over the country, but with just 2 weeks until Iowa becomes the first state to pick its Republican candidate for 2024, everyone's watching to see when the court will take on the case and how fast they might make a decision. The stakes couldn't be higher.